Welcome to yet another episode of Youth Unite. How are you? Are you enjoying these episodes? I hope you are, and that's our heartfelt intention. In the previous episodes, we have learnt about heartful communication. We've understood communication from the lens of needs consciousness and have learnt about the importance of listening in communication. We have known types of communication that connects and disconnects us from each other. We have understood what it means to put ourselves in another person's shoes and resolve the conflict. So what next? So with this newfound language of heartful communication, let's move ahead to make heartful connection with self, with people around us, and also with our Creator. We would do this exploration with the help of stories, sharing personal experiences, self-reflecting questions, quotes, and metaphors. I would now invite you to pause and reflect on these questions. Do I have contacts or connections? What is a meaningful connection? And what lies at the foundation of all the meaningful connections and relationships of our life? So the first question, do I have contacts or connections? Here I would like to narrate a small interview that happened. And who was being interviewed? A saint was being interviewed by a reputed journalist in one of the famous cities, where the saint was asked a very interesting question. What is the difference between contacts and connections? The saint smiled and started questioning the journalist. The first question that the saint asked was, who all are there in your family? On this, the journalist felt as if the saint is trying to avoid the question. However, he still replies. He says, my mother has passed away, and it's a family of we brothers and sisters. We are 3. We all are married and we have a father. So the next question that the saint asks, how often do you speak to your father? Listening to this question, the journalist felt a little angry, and he said, sometimes I talk to him, but not too frequently. So his next question was, and have you met him recently? So he said that yes, it was around 2 years ago, not recent, but it was last Christmas. So the saint again asked the question to him, have you met your siblings also? So now the journalist is not very happy about this questioning. He felt as if it's his interview that is happening. The situation is other way around now. However, he still replied that yes, the siblings also were there in that Christmas get-together. So the next question that saint asks is that, did you all sit together? Did you all have meal? And how long did you all stay? So he said, we were there for 3 days, and yes, we ate together. And by this time, something cracked in this reporter's heart, and there were tears that started rolling down. And at this point, the saint held the hands of this journalist and he said, my dear friend, I did not have any intentions to hurt you. However, if I did so, my apologies. And this is what is the difference between connection and contact. You surely are in contact with your siblings, in contact with your father, but it's not connection. Today, this has become the reality of many of us. Remain connected with your devices in the name of connection is superficial. We all have thousands of contacts, but no real connections. Connections are much more deeper than we realize. sharing of thoughts, having heartful discussions, open to listening to each other, is something that needs time. It's something that needs effort. And to do all this, we need to come out of our own worlds in which most of us are lost. Connection is always with the soul. It is between the hearts. I'd like you all to take a moment, pause and reflect on few more questions. First being, which relations and connections do I enjoy the most and why? The next question, which are the relations and connections in my life where I feel stressed and strained, and why is that? And if I'm aware of it, what am I doing about it? What heart? Meaningful connections help us gain knowledge and altitude, and they inspire us, propels us to alter our perspectives on many things, and sometimes they help us towards a paradigm shift and has the power to transform us. I feel lucky that in my personal and professional life, I do have some meaningful connections. In personal life, it's my brother who is always there for me. We both have our own busy lives, we have our own share of ups and downs, but yet whenever we need each other, we know that we are just a phone call away. And talking about my professional life, again I would say I'm lucky because I get to meet a new batch of students each year, and we share more of a peer-coach relationship than a teacher-student relationship. And the beauty of this relationship is that they sit with me even after classes and love to share their day-to-day concerns, their challenges. And sometimes it's their relationships, sometimes it is their marks, sometimes it's their breakup too. And it's a mutual give and take that happens, as I mentioned, that it is a peer-coach relationship. I too take suggestions from them, sometimes concerning my activities, sometimes concerning with some modules, and they came up with brilliant ideas, and we have a absolutely beautiful partnership into the teaching and learning process. And I would love to share here that the script and the episode that you are watching here, there are a few suggestions and contributions from these young student of mine. Here I would like to quote Professor Brown. I define connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. Let's take a pause and dive into a self-reflection question here. What steps have I taken or not taken to keep my connections alive, meaningful and heartful? So while we discussed about meaningful connection, it brings us to our next question. What lies at the foundation of all the meaningful connections and relationships of our life? Let me narrate a story of two brothers and their mother here to shed some light on this profound question. Roshan was watching curiously while his mother cooked the dinner and laid it beautifully on the dining table, and then she started clicking pictures and was sending it to somebody on WhatsApp. So Roshan just asked his mother, Mother, what are you doing and who are you sending these pictures to? Mother gave a smile and she said that I'm sending this picture to your brother Rajiv, who is now in the hostel. So Roshan was again little surprised, and he asked the reason for doing so. So she said that Rajiv has requested that whenever I cook my lunch and dinner, I should send a photograph of it so that he feels motivated to eat his hostel food. Listening to this, Roshan got little annoyed and he picked up the phone and called his brother that what is this new routine that you have asked our mother to get into? Why are you troubling her so much? Why don't you grow up? So Rajiv replied little seriously to this, brother, the last time when I was at home for my holiday, the house help was telling me that your mother is not eating enough food. She just takes some tea and bread, and sometimes she cooks porridge, and the whole day then she sits little sadly. And then when I checked with her, I came to realize that it's because after you got married, I moved to the hostel, and with the passing away of our father, she doesn't feel joyful enough to cook for herself or take care of herself. This was the only thing and the way I found to keep her engaged and to cook 2 good meals for herself, and that's what I intend to do, and that is the reason that I ask her to cook, click pictures and send it to me on WhatsApp. Listening to this, Roshan really felt touched. Tears rolled down his eyes and he said, brother, you have grown up. Love makes everything easy. Shower such love in our life which does not ask for anything. Love is a high thing, a very delicate thing. You can't ask for anything in it. Daji. On this note, allow me to share the last story of today. Once a rich man was being interviewed on a TV series, and the interviewer asked him a question that, sir, do you remember any incident in your life that really was a life-changing moment for you? The interviewee, who was a rich man, said, yes, I do remember. And he said at that time when this incident happened, he was in Ayodhya in India, and he was just casually walking on the street, and suddenly his eyes went on to a man who was kneeling down on the side of the road with his eyes closed, and he seemed to be praying. So this man went little near to him as his posture attracted him, and he saw that tears were rolling down his eyes, and he was praying. So this man waited patiently for the man to finish his prayer, and when he opened his eyes, this rich man asked him, brother, would you like to share what happened? So he said, yes, my wife is in a hospital and I need 1 lakh rupees for her surgery. So I was just praying for that. So the rich man just did something which probably may not happen on the streets. He offered him 1 lakh rupees at that moment because he had it with him, and the man received it, the man who was praying, and he thanked God first and then he thanked him. So this attitude and this gesture again touched this rich man, and his ego shattered to pieces because he was thinking that he probably would thank him first. But anyways, he further went a step forward and he said, brother, I have really liked you, your attitude, and I would like to give you this offer that in life, whenever you need any help, whenever you would need money, do let me know. The help will reach you. So this man again bowed his head towards God and he said, thank God. And then he mentioned this to this rich man, thank you for this offer, but I would not call you. Whenever that need would arise in my life, I would call that God which resides in my heart. So this rich man realized something very crucial, something very important in his life. and he got introduced to this concept that there is a God that resides in each one of us. So I have a few more set of self-reflection questions for you at this point. Whom do I connect to when I am sad, happy, angry, or in an emergency situation? Why do I choose to reach out to these people? The next question, what have I learned from my connections till now? And here, I would like to conclude this discussion with one of my favorite quotes by Marshall Rosenberg. Your presence is the most precious gift you can give to another human being. It makes miracles happen, connections thrives, and people heal. Always have faith in your inner resources or inner self, because that is the caregiver you can always count on. He who is dependent on his inner self, the higher self, is truly independent. We should realize the importance of nurturing the inner connection with our inner self, because the true leader, the friend, is within us, but we are not with him. Therefore, the prayer becomes that tool to communicate from our end to him. In our meditation, our consciousness moves towards our innermost self, to the center of our existence, Daji. So let's summarize our discussion of the day. Connection is always with the soul, it is between hearts. Heartfulness meditation nurture this connection. It is this connection which we can't explain that gives meaning to our life and truly makes us human. It is our heart, that is the we in us, that holds us together. Meaningful connections and relationships need time and effort to nurture with patience. Defining criteria of a meaningful connection is love, mutual trust, respect, and appreciation. One who is connected and dependent on one's inner self is centered and has a foundation that can hold and nurture all connections and relationships with harmony. There is a practice in heartfulness that connects you with your inner self. It is called Inner Connect. So let us now prepare ourselves for a guided meditation session on Inner Connect. You would receive suggestions to connect with your inner self while meditating. Stay tuned and follow the instructions.
While offering this prayer, we honor the present moment in our journey, as well as acknowledging that the journey must continue. The Heartfulness prayer is done at bedtime for 10 to 15 minutes to help us connect with our source. This is referred to as Master. It is also done for a few minutes before meditating in the morning as a way of resetting that connection. By beginning and ending the day this way, a connection is established with the Source throughout the day and night. Sit in a comfortable position. Gently close your eyes and relax. With a feeling of humility and love, silently and slowly, let these words resonate within the space in your heart. O Master, Thou art the real goal of human life. We are yet but slaves of wishes, putting bar to our advancement. Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. Meditate for 10 to 15 minutes over the true sense of the words and try to get lost in them. You can repeat them a couple of times. O Master, Thou art the real goal of human life. We are yet but slaves of wishes, putting bar to our advancement. Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. Allow yourself to melt into this prayerful feeling.